The first sales agency owner to get a BBL in Miami.
Yep. I've always told people this, like high ticket sales is one of the best vehicles.
Most people, yes, they could go close maybe their own deals, but could actually run their own business.
You can't cheat time in the game.
Best evolution for a high ticket closer is to start their own sales agency.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can make life-changing money running a sales agency.
If you start scaling too quickly, how are you actually going to manage the fulfillment side of it? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the High Ticket Podcast. Today, we are joined by the first sales agency owner to get a BBL in Miami.
Yep.
We're joined here today by Cole. You want to go ahead and just introduce yourself over to the camera?
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on. I do a lot of stuff, but probably most relevant to this, I run a high ticket done-for-you marketing and sales agency working with high ticket offers.
So you're a competitor.
Yep.
Get out of here. Yeah, man. So you have a very impressive track record, not just with the done-for-you marketing sales side, but also just in business in general. So tell us a bit about, like, how did you actually even start in the space of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, man. So out of college, played baseball in college. Out of college, went on to sell at State Farm for 2 years, doing insurance sales. Not fun, but cold calling turns you into a beast, I would say, and no one wants to talk about insurance. From there, while I was still working there, I started a branding company for professional athletes. So doing their entire apparel lines, web design development, content creation, and then order fulfillment. Went on to work with like 50 plus NFL players. And while I was doing that, I wanted to be able to make like some side income to not have to, take from the business and continue to reinvest. And so I found out about high ticket sales, landed my first gig, and then just, one thing kind of parlayed into the next.
That's sick, man. Dude, funny enough, a common trend that I see is a lot of high ticket entrepreneurs start off in either cold calling or door to door for some reason.
Yeah, man.
How do you think like your cold calling experience like translated into your success in running a sales agency?
I would say just like with cold calling, like you really have to, that first like 5 seconds of that phone conversation is really important because number one, they don't want to talk to you and they didn't schedule an appointment with you. So creating urgency and building rapport fast, I would say, is something that translated into high ticket sales because obviously urgency is important in your sales process. And so I would say just, building rapport, getting people to like you and actually want to give you the time of the day, and then also creating urgency in that sales process.
Yeah. And you mentioned you went from like the sports apparel side into running a sales agency. That's like such a huge pivot. How did that transition happen?
Yeah, so when I got into high ticket closing, I was closing on offers, did really well at that. And then that transitioned into me becoming like a sales manager, becoming a CRO of different offers, stuff like that. And so you obviously, I've always told people this, like high ticket sales is one of the best vehicles because you get paid essentially to learn how these high ticket offers are operating, right? So you're seeing what's their back end fulfillment process look like? How are they actually driving traffic? What's the pre-call process look like? You already obviously know the sales process because you're in it. And so for me, it was like, I kind of looked around, realized how much money I'm making, these high ticket offer owners. And I'm like, I'm just as high level, if not more than some of the people that I've worked with. And so I was like, why not just replicate this process across different offers myself?
What is that moment though? Because like there's a certain level, you're like you said, you feel like you're as high level, if not more high level. What exactly does that mean? Like what is that transitionary moment? Like if you're like a sales rep and you're like, dude, I could go do this on my own.
Yeah.
Reality is like most people, yes, they could go close maybe their own deals, but could they actually run their own business or do it at that capacity? Most people are still not. Like, so like, what is that identifying trait to transition from being like a closer into becoming like an actual offer owner?
Yeah, I would say you can't cheat time in the game. Like I feel like nowadays, especially, everybody wants things faster. They want instant gratitude and like just to get to the end goal a lot faster. And yes, you can do things to accelerate that process, but at the end of the day, you can't cheat time in the game. Like I've been around a lot of big teams that did significant revenue, and then I did different pieces of the puzzle, right? So from just being the closer to building out the entire sales process, right? So like, what does the pre-call sequences look like? How do we define the structure of the actual packages and the offer itself? Like I worked closely with the founders to identify those things and like build those things. So I would say it's more so like a feeling thing. Like it's like after I had, reached peak level of like what I think is possible income wise in high ticket closing and then managing, I was like, okay, like what does that next step look like and what's that transition? And it's just like makes sense in the order of things, right? It's like if you're gonna take those same skill sets and translate it into something that's higher leverage, that is what made the most sense to me.
Do you feel like the best evolution for a high ticket closer is to start their own sales agency in the future, or is it just, get into sales management? What's your take on that?
I would say it depends on your skill set, and then obviously like, do you like it, right? Do you enjoy doing that? Is that like I was at Peter Voogd's Playbook's event this past weekend, and him and Gerard Adams were talking about your area of genius. Like, what is it that you do with the least amount of effort that produces the highest leverage results, right? Yeah. For me, that's identifying sales arguments and building sales processes and infrastructure. So it just was something that made sense for me. I would say that if you're someone who's a high ticket closer and then you've managed teams and you're like, okay, like I've reached this income gap, what's the next thing that I could do with these skill sets? I think it does make the most sense. I don't think that everyone would be successful at it. Like, I think it's a hard business to run, but if you crack it, obviously it can be a really lucrative business.
And on that, what do you think is an even higher leverage opportunity vehicle than running a sales agency?
Well, I'll let you know when I find out. I don't think, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do, right? Like, yeah, you can exit agencies because everyone nowadays wants to exit. I think you can. It's maybe not as exitable of a business as like a SaaS or an e-com product or something like that. I have exposure in those things too. Like, I don't want to say too much, but I have some exciting projects in the works and stuff. So I would say, I mean, at the end of the day, you can make life-changing money running a sales agency if you're good, right? Exactly. So it's not necessarily that you need something else. It's kind of like, be where your feet are and do that at the highest level, and things are kind of happen as they will, right? And one thing leads to the next.
I actually like that quote, you can't cheat time in the game. It's not like there's gonna be things that you're gonna learn through osmosis, through actually going through the process by diving into the deep end, but like there's certain skills that you actually need to learn in order to run a business, right? Like there's management, there's also understanding the operational side, there's managing the sales side, there's managing the marketing side, there's managing the management side, right? And like a lot of people, they get really good at one skill very quickly, and then they immediately go, well, I can just sell that skill. But it's not as simple as usually just selling that skill. There's so many other pieces of it too. Like if you start scaling too quickly, how are you actually going to manage the fulfillment side of it, right? I know something that you've done as well is you built out incredible systems as well inside of your agency, because in order to scale, you understood, okay, there's going to be fulfillment constraints, but I guarantee you didn't just come up with that idea of needing to build systems inside your business just by like, all of a sudden it was just like an epiphany that you had as a new entrepreneur. You've seen these systems inside of insurance companies. You've seen how to do a pipeline cleanup after 30 days inside of probably insurance businesses or whatever. Like you've already seen the infrastructure inside of big offers, and you're able to replicate all those systems into one comprehensive system that you believe that you can just do better.
Yeah, 100%. I think also it's a lot of entrepreneurs, I feel like, get bogged down trying to control everything themselves and be involved in every single piece of the process. And I feel like that was something I never really struggled with, is I was always identifying like, okay, if that's not my area of genius, if that's not something that I even enjoy doing or that I'm really good at, why would I try to spend my time doing that when I can get the pieces of the puzzle around me? So like I have an incredible team around me that does different skill sets that allows me to have my time be leveraged in the best way possible to where they can do what they do best, and we all kind of work cohesively to produce the results.
Yeah. And so how do you, I think this is something that's a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, is they can be good at a lot of different things, right? They learn a lot of different skills. They're on the block, maybe been in like one area of a business for a very long period of time. And a lot of times they can struggle to detach from like, hey, like I can do that and I am good at that, but like, is it high leverage? Like, how do you, because like there's things that obviously in the sales side that you delegate as well too. You're still not doing all the sales management. You're not doing all the call audits. You're not doing everything. Like, how do you distinguish like what actually is high leverage for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not really something that's one size fits all. I would say you kind of figure it out as you go, right? And at the end of the day, in this business model, right, because you guys run a similar business model, like we get so ingrained with these companies, we're essentially like partners, right? So it's a lot that goes into it. It's not something you just stand up a team tomorrow and we're running this team, right? Like you're essentially becoming a partner in handling, if not the most, but the most important piece of their business.
Most intensive part, usually the business too.
And operationally complex.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's too much that goes into it, right? And so at scale, to run it at the level that like I'm obviously at now and continuing to try to be at, you're not going to get there if you don't have leverage and have real team and talent around you. I think that's something that Jeremy Haynes talks a lot about, is like people are too scared to pay A player talent. Like I have A players in my agency, which allows me to have my time spent in the most high leverage way possible, and they do what they do best and the system runs.
Yeah. And so for you, like especially on the sales side, like what was your natural evolution of like going from, because when you guys first started off, remember you and Dylan, like when you guys first started an agency together, like you guys were just fucking all over the place.
And everything, right?
Yeah. And like constant WhatsApp channels, constant communication on the sales side. And then even since then, you know, like since now you're now running your agency, like through that transition, you probably had to go through a lot of like building out, like not just new systems, new processes, but also new team members and maybe new ways that are reprioritizing your energy in different ways. And so like, what was that natural evolution from you from being like the fucking everything guy to like, did you go in like to management? Did you hire managers? Or like what did that evolution look like for you to like get yourself to now just being like the high level business owner?
Yeah. I mean, it was was definitely a process, right? Like it wasn't something that happened overnight, and we're still even today improving and evolving over time. But I would say in the beginning, and that's what allowed me and Dylan, I think, to be successful, is we have different skill sets, right? Like a lot of people want to partner with people that are just their friends or whatever. But if you guys have the exact same skill sets, you're not going to be able to achieve as much, right? So Dylan was more, he's been in sales, and he'll even say this himself. He's more of like a operations systems, like he can visualize the process and then build systems around it. That's not me. Like I'm the one who needs to be, I want to work with the sales reps on the sales arguments and help us sell it at the highest level. I also build really good relationships and get clients to want to work with us, right? And that's sales in itself. So that was something that like we just kind of did what each other does best. And any gaps and concerns that we needed to find, we have found and addressed, and hired fast too. Like that's something I think a lot of people want to build, like a lifestyle business where they keep their margins as high as possible and they control everything or whatever. Like, okay, we'll sacrifice some margin, but we'll grow way faster if we have the time to spend on the things that are going to make us more money, right? So we just hired that way and built the business that way from the beginning. And obviously it's changed a lot since like I bought Dylan out, have a new CEO, things like that. Like a lot of things have changed, but it's to the point now where it's like it's like a real business. Like it's a real operation. It's not some like duct tape system essentially.
And on that topic, how did you find like that next step? Is it just delegating the lowest leverage activity, or was it like, were you visioneering what your business looked like at 8 figures, 9 figures, whatever? And then working your way backwards?
I mean, I kind of envisioned of, okay, what does that actually have to look like at scale, right? Like I'm realistically, even though I want my fingertips on every single sales team and the operation and what's going on, there's no way that I can be as day-to-day ingrained as a sales manager on 6+ different offers at the same time. So I needed to have really good sales management in place. And thankfully I have that. And I also am able to like, yes, I'm still involved. I'm in all the team chats. I see what's going on. I have my fingertips on everything. And when I need to and when I want to, I'm involved in those meetings and making sure that my team is still selling at the highest level, because that's what I did best. Like I can teach people how to create urgency in the sales process, how to handle specific objections and things like that. So still to this day, even at our level, like I am involved in that process, not because I have to be necessarily, because I've gone on trips and we've gone on mastermind events, stuff like that, where I'm not on meetings for 2 weeks, right? And the system's still going, but I want to be, because it's like, why would I not, when that's the things that make us the most money?
I feel you.
Business owners want both things. They want to scale to like $1 million a month. Like that's what everyone fucking talks about. But they also really want a high margin business, and you cannot have both. I think that's just one thing that people forget about it. They're like, oh, well, it's high ticket, it's not SaaS. The second you spend money on ads, like for example, let's say you have a 3x ROAS, which is like industry average for like marketing returns. That's 33% of your entire business cost. So even let's say you have like an 85% margin. Let's say you're doing all your own sales. You even have a sales team or setters, so you're not even paying out 15% in that area. Like right away, that's 33% off your top margin. So right away, you're now sitting at what, like 52% or something just by running ads. And now obviously if your ROAS is good, that stretches. If you have like a 5x ROAS, it's 20% margin. You can try to get more efficient ads, but it's like you pay out closers and setters. Now that's 15% out of the way. If you hire a manager, that can be anywhere from like 4 to 6%, like on top of that, and potentially bases. On top of that, you have like your operating expenses, your fulfillment costs are going to go up because you have more clients. Like I think that's another big thing too, is like setting expectations. Cause like this is something we always have to do too. When we go to work with people, if they're like, let's say crushing it organically, let's say they're already doing like 6 figures a month organically, we have to set the expectation, like your margins, you're used to like 85 to 95% margins. At scale, those might go down anywhere from like 18 to like 30%, like 30% on a really fucking good month, but you could expect maybe 25% margins, maybe on average. And like, that's just the reality of scaling through paid traffic too. And I think that's a lot of things. So like, you know, do you experience that a lot too when you're going with clients, or like setting that expectation? And like, because we've literally lost clients because of that, or like not lost clients, but lost prospects. Cause we're like, just letting you know, your margins are not going to be super sexy at scale. And especially when you launch with somebody, like, you can have a really successful launch. Even then though, it's like the net profit that the business owner actually takes home. A lifestyle business owner making $120K a month organically, it's probably gonna make the same amount of money at $500K a month through paid traffic. And I think a lot of business owners, it's like, they don't understand that concept of it. So it's like, you know, for you, what would you say to like offer owners that are like considering even like running ads and scaling and be like, I want to do this aggressively?
I mean, I would say we've kind of had the luxury of like having a lot of offers that are really heavy paid traffic, and I like that. Like that's what I was involved in when I was closing. One of the first offers I closed on had a personal brand presence, but we still ran cold traffic, and that was like 85% plus of our revenue was attributed to cold traffic. So I'm used to that. And I have teams that have some organic presence, but what I would say is like, why would you not want a predictable source of income, right? Like you're organic, and I think everyone is realizing this now. It doesn't hit the same as it used to. And also it's like, okay, you're gonna have a lot more ebbs and flows in your business if you don't have predictable marketing channels. And so paid ads is literally a numbers game. If the ROAS looks good, we have the team to support the volume, spend more money. It's that simple, right? So I think that everyone whether, even if you're crushing organic, do you not want to make more money? Like, why would you not try to crack paid ads and then have a predictable numbers?
You actually lose more money by not running paid and just sticking with organic. That's what a lot of business owners don't even realize, that they're leaving so much money on the table with paid. Now, I know you run quite a bit of high-level sales teams, and how much success do you see is catered towards like the execution of the team versus like actual offer itself?
I mean, the offer matters 100%. I mean, we've seen teams with 80% plus show rates and super high intent, and that's because the offer was really, really good, right? And then we've seen teams with lower show rates. The offers matters, and don't let like anyone say that it doesn't at the end of the day, but there still requires execution. Like if someone has a massive personal brand, has never launched an offer before, and they start posting CTAs, if they have a somewhat decent process, they're gonna make money, right? But when that dies down and the music stops, can you repeat that process time and time again, right? And so because we rely a lot on paid traffic for our teams, you have to have efficient processes and systems. I think that's also what separates us too in the space also, is because, and y'all know this, but some of my teams, I'm putting the money up for ad spend, right? Like I have to care about the cost per call, the ROAS, the show rates, every single piece of data in the offer, because that determines my profitability. So I think that's something that I tell new clients potentially when we're working with them too. It's like, I'm not just a sales agency that's going to get paid on rev share no matter what. Like I know what it feels like to be the one slapping the Amex for a lot of money every single day. And so it's like, and even more than that. So like, it's like, I have to care about these things, right? And so and that's something that we talk to our clients about in our process too, is like, I don't want to just know what we can price this offer at. I also want to know, what is your profitability on these different offer structures, right? And we'll craft the offer to be able to sell it at the highest level to where the customers and clients are still getting value, but we're obviously maximizing margin. And that's important. It's just kind of a thing you have to work with the offer owners on.
And speaking of the offer, offer trends shift over time. What type of offers do you think are going to pick up in the future as well?
I mean, anything that's tied to ROI, right? Like obviously, like I have a lot of offers that are tied to investment products. That's also when I sold investment products. I sold to a lot of high leverage individuals, I would say. And so I didn't come from the style of like Jeremy Miner, like a lot of emotional based selling. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's needed a lot in the info space. But
especially in B2C.
Yeah, but when you're selling to like high income, high level individuals, like do not try. Like if you're listening to this, do not try some of that stuff, because even like I'm friends with guys who run that as a sales training model, right? And so like I'm not talking shit on it by any means, but it's like that's not going to work with high leverage prospects. You need to be able to logically show them, and yes, there's some emotional stuff in that as well, but you need to be able to logically show them, what is me buying this offer and what am I going to tangibly get from this, and what does that end result actually look like? And so I think it's a lot easier when you can show something that's tangible.
So for you, what is the foundation? Like you look at an offer, right? And this is just something for like just anybody out there who's even like has, or for offer owners who are watching this, potentially for sales reps who are maybe on an offer and they just don't really like know if this thing's really worth selling, if it's really getting a lot of transformation. What is like the core principle foundation that you look for in a winning offer? Like what is a winning offer to you?
I would say, is it scalable? Like that's important too. Like I don't care if we can do 500K this month. If the fulfillment's going to break and it's not super scalable, then like no one's making any money. If we have to, let's slow down, let's pump the brakes on ads, guys. You can't handle it from a fulfillment standpoint. So that's something that I heavily vet on the front end before we take on clients. Because like you guys know, after the initial potential setup fee or something like that, like we're completely driven by revenue, right? So if I can't generate revenue and it's not scalable to 2, 3, 4, 500K a month and beyond, it's probably not worth our time and energy to take on as a client, right? And so that's something I would say for scalable fulfillment, which is why software is really good. Like if you can sell a high ticket software, that's extremely scalable. But that's really one of the most important parts. Do you align with the offer owner ethically? Like when shit hits the fan or somebody doesn't get X tangible result, are you guys going to handle that in the same manner and be on the same page with that? Because I want my guys to feel good about what they're selling at the end of the day, and I want to feel good about what we're selling. And so that's something also, it's a vibe check, right? Like would I want to see you on a meeting once a week or not? If not, I'm good. Like
we actually just had a call. I'm not going to obviously name names, with somebody literally yesterday who were like, this thing can make everybody an insane and stupid amount of money. But I'm not going to say what the person said to me when they introed, but it was just like, just not, vibe check was just off. And I remember the first time we ever talked to them too, I was like, what do you look for? Like in working with somebody, like honestly, like above all else, it really is the offer owner and the founder. Cause like some shit goes wrong. Like what's going to happen if there's like a slight disagreement on something, or if like whatever, like how are we going to handle that? And he was like, that's a fucking worst. Like that was the worst answer you could have given me. And I was like, that's a huge red flag to us. Cause like at the end of the day, it really comes down like, do you actually like the offer owner and can you actually work with them long term? So when you go to vet out those offers, it seems like you kind of bring them through like that initial, like what is the actual ROI on this? And like, can we actually sell this? Especially in this industry, there's so much skepticism around like, we're in a massive trust recession right now with like just the general market. What would you say is like the key things that you look for? Or like, how do you vet for like, I guess like ethicalness in an offer, or like make sure that this person actually is legit?
Yeah, I mean, I would say show me. Like let me see what kind of results you have. Let me see testimonials. Let me see what your back end fulfillment process looks like. What's your retention rate if it's like a recurring offer, things like that. That's questions we're asking, because at the end of the day, it takes a lot to get ingrained in these offers. And so before we even enter that process, like let's make sure it's a good fit and honestly understand what the full picture looks like. Like what's it look like behind the hood, right? Because they want to tell you the good stuff, but obviously there's things that you don't know, right? And so once you get in there, you don't want to have any surprises. So I would say, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know. So you can only vet it as much as you possibly can. Then you kind of got to learn for yourself, but you got to be able to ask the right questions to uncover that kind of stuff.
And one thing we'll even do is like get access to the payment processor sometimes too, and actually see like what's your refund and chargeback rate as well. Like we'll do that. It's funny too, because you always see like when they had like their peak month is usually when they had the most chargebacks and most refund requests because the fulfillment just broke. So for you, like pretty much for acquisition, this is something that Dylan and I talked about in our episode, is like for actually getting these types of clients. I think a lot of people like they think that they're going to get them just from like outbounding on Instagram and just like DMing the fuck out of everybody and sending like 20 to 50 DMs a day. For those high level clients, what we found is like you got to be in the room. Like what has been your experience with bringing these type of people in?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've never sent a single outbound DM or ran an ad to get a client, and I don't even have like a big personal brand or anything like that, right? But I would say I'm decently connected in the space, and so I would say leveraging connections, but also like be a fucking killer wherever you go. Like my first clients, my first biggest clients came from my network. I was selling on an offer, and I was the dude that the offer owner told the marketing team, give every call to that dude. And so he knew who I was. And then I connected with the marketing team after that because I was launching a separate offer. And he was like, I remember you. Like we were the ones, like we were instructed to give you all the calls, right? And so it's like they respected me because they knew I was really good at what I do. And I think that translates to everything. Like whatever it is that you're doing right now, be the fucking best at it. And then people are going to remember you. And so that's literally how I got my first biggest client. It's how I became a CRO of a company, because I absolutely crushed it for the offer owner. And so when he went to go launch his sales team, he was like, I want you selling or I want you managing this team. That's how we got our biggest clients in the beginning. To get started was literally just word of mouth and referrals and network. And then it just kind of takes care of itself. Obviously you can leverage other high level connections that I know you guys do and I do as well. But my point is like, that's the easiest way. If you're a closer right now and you're like, I want to manage a team, be the best closer possible, start taking initiative. Be like, hey, I have some ideas around pre-call process and ways we can improve the close rate across the team or whatever, right? Like start providing value, and then like you'll be in their ear, or it'll be something that they're thinking about when they're like, okay, I want to move you up to manager. I don't want to manage a sales team anymore.
Yeah. One thing I always say too, and I tell this to our team, is like anytime it comes to networking, the number one key above everything is like, even subjectively, like, and it's very important to always add value in relationships. The number one key that I've realized in networking is you always have to stay top of mind. Like you always got to be like the first person somebody thinks about when they associate something with you. So like, for example, when people talk about brand, all this brand is just somebody's association emotionally and mentally behind what, like when they see like a logo or when they see a company, it's like, what is their association with that? And if it's a positive experience, they keep buying, right? So for example, if somebody's like, they meet you at an event and then like 2 months goes by down the road and they're like, man, I really need marketing and sales. And like, let's say like, you know, you gave them a shit ton of value, but then I talked to them literally the day before then, they go, I need marketing and sales. They'll probably go to us and be like, yeah, man, oh yeah, let's talk, right? Obviously, as long as they think that we can do the same job and same quality, right? And if you go through that process, like the number one thing is just always staying top of mind. And that's what a lot of people forget to do, is they'll add value or they pitch somebody on their service and then they literally just like ignore them. Like I'm constantly, I mean, Bargov sees my texts all the time. Like I'm literally just sitting there. Like I text like 20, 30 people a day, genuinely, because I actually enjoy the people that I talk to. If I don't enjoy them, then we wouldn't be working with them as a client. I wouldn't be talking to them in the first place. So everyone that I talk to, I actually enjoy connecting with because I see some potential for long-term alignment. Even chatting with you, like there's potential long-term alignment 1, 2, 3, 5 years down the road. Most people will probably watch this and be like, dude, they have like their competitors. How are they jamming out? Are they adding value? It's like we're playing such a fucking bigger game than just running a done-for-you marketing and sales agency.
And right? the market's big. And there's money to be made for everybody. Literally, like there's so many offers that I don't know that exist out there that you guys could land and make money on. So like I have zero scarcity mind. Like you're not gonna get to big numbers if you have a scarcity mindset. So it's like
it's possible. Yeah. And the thing is too, it's like funny if we're both going to an event tonight. And there's probably gonna be potential people that we're both gonna meet there and align with. We're probably gonna meet people that just don't align with us for whatever reason. But we're like, hey, either like the offer, like we know Cole would absolutely fucking rip this offer, and like we would do a good job too, but he already has some pre-existing infrastructure or something like this. Let's just intro Cole to them. And then you're gonna meet somebody too eventually and go like, hey, you know, we could work with this person, but like, you know, for whatever reason, this just doesn't align. Like, hey, I'm gonna intro them over to these guys. And the thing is too, it's like you build allies for long-term business. I think that's one thing that a lot of people like, they kind of have like that startup founder syndrome where they're like, I can't tell anybody my idea. If someone finds my idea, I'm fucked. Like, now if you just have the idea and you haven't even put anything together and you're going to implement on it, like, sure. But at the end of the day, it's like, if somebody can build a better product, then they beat you out in the market anyway, right? But it's like, I think one thing that is, even when it asks about your long-term alignment, or what you're looking to build towards long-term, you've said a few times, you're just like, I'm building something fucking amazing right now. I'm just going to focus on what I'm building right now. And but eventually down the line, there's going to be even bigger and bigger and bigger plays. So it's just like, at the end of the day, dude, like people are cyclical, like in this industry. There's been times where I've like not worked with somebody. One time I met somebody as like a setter, and all of a sudden they're like an offer owner, and they're like, hey, like, all of a sudden my offer's picking up. Can you give me some coaching on this, or can I hire you guys for this? Or somebody who I mentored who was looking to get into sales, and next thing you know, 6 months later, they're closing on one of our offers. Like, I think people just like, they forget about that long-term relationship building. One thing I also wanted to get your thought on, there's obviously a lot of money to be generated in this business, and also a lot of money to be made. But I think one thing that a lot of people like think is, in order to like build and scale a done for you marketing or done for you sales or done for you marketing and sales agency, which I think you, me, and maybe only like fucking 2 other people in the industry do the full scope. But what would you say is, what is like I guess a warning that you'd give to people who are like, if I scale up the agency, like I can just make a stupid amount of money, and they start hiring out and systematizing and doing all these things. Like every deal that closes, like we're not getting rich off of every deal that closes. We get rich off of a lot of fucking deals that close. Right. And I think that's one thing a lot of people forget about, is like, you got to build the systems for scale as well too. So like, what is like a warning that you'd give to people who are trying to build a done for you marketing or done for you sales or both agency?
I mean, I would say in the beginning, it's a little bit harder to do what I would say I do now, but I would say like, that's something like in Japan, we were at that event and we were in some of these breakout groups, talked to some guys that run similar models, and they were like, dude, like that's one thing I didn't do that you do that's good, is that like, I won't take on a client and not price myself accordingly to where I know I don't want to be in a situation where I take you on as a client, we're making a lot of money, in a month and a half from now, I look up and I'm like, dude, I'm not making shit on this deal. Like, that's not good for either of us, right? And so you want me to win when you win. And so like, I would say I would rather price myself higher than what the market price is to make sure I'm going to make the margin that I want to make on that deal, or I'll just lose the deal. Like, it's fine. Like, I won't take it on. And that's also like an abundant mindset, I would say, just kind of with like where we're at. But I would say that's the most important. And also like, sales agency alone is a traditionally low margin business, because if you're running it the way we do, like you're baking the commissions and everything into your rev share. So it's like, you're not running a massive margin business. So you need to be good enough to charge what you want to charge to make money, to where it's actually scalable and you make what you want to make on a deal. But then also like you guys do, and like we do, if you can get ingrained in another piece of the business and handle the entire front end acquisition, you can justify taking a larger percentage of the deal. And that's why like, I don't need a lot of deals, and I don't want a lot of deals to make a lot of money in this space. Like I would rather have 6 to 10 really good clients than 25 clients. Like that sounds like a nightmare.
One thing that we fell in the trap of in our agency is we focus so much on just our internal clients that we actually forgot about the agency as a whole. So like all three, like we have like obviously me, Bargov, and then Jonathan, all three of us business partners, we are like all just in the fucking weeds of the clients' businesses all day. And like we were doing really good, but then you lose like one client and you're like, oh shit, like where's our pipeline? We don't have any other clients.
So we talked about in Japan.
Literally. You literally, shout out to fucking Cole. Cole fucking gave me very stern talking to in Japan. And he spanked me in front of everybody. There's like 100 entrepreneurs are all like, he brought out like a frat paddle and everything. Said Mojo on it. Shout out Eli. But no, the biggest thing I was like, dude, I literally have and we were still, we were still making money, but I was like, dude, we have like no fucking pipeline because we got so ingrained. But then what other agencies or what other salespeople do, or sales agency owners, they do the opposite, where they're just really fucking good at selling. So they're just selling agency or selling people all day on their agency service, but they're not focusing on quality reps, quality of appointment setters, quality of like just work in general, or building the systems to manage that at scale. So now they have like 20 like sub 100K a month or even sub 50K a month clients that they're maybe getting like, $2,000 from. It's like, you probably just make more money just going to be a closer somewhere. So like, I think that's a big thing too. It's like, understand there's that balance of like, if you're going to build this kind of this type of model, first you have to make sure that your margin is baked in and that you're actually going to make money. And then also too, you got to like make sure that the clients you're bringing on are actually going to be profitable, and then also build so in a way where it's like, you have to build the system where the clients can infinitely scale through marketing and sales through your infrastructure. Obviously their fulfillment, the client's fulfillment should always be the bottleneck. It should never be your marketing and sales teams or systems internally. And then from there, you also have to continue making sure that you're actually growing the agency as a whole too. And that's one thing that can get a little tricky at times. It's like you're constantly in and on the business all day. And then you're talking to your clients, and then when you're talking to clients, it feels like you're working kind of on the business, but you're really working in the business. So that's something that we fell in the trap of too.
And I think that's why sometimes sales agencies kind of get a bad rep, right? Because like people are doing what you just said, where they're just adding all these clients, and then they don't even have good teams to push on those clients. And so they're like playing favoritism across their clients and things like that. And so number one, stop doing that, because that's giving us a bad rep. But number two, you got to do things the right way at the end of the day. Like I care about my reputation too, right? So I would rather not take a client on if I knew at that time and moment I couldn't handle that client, client versus taking on a client and then I place a bad team on there and then they don't get results and then now they don't like me or go talk bad about my agency across other people and then that's preventing me from landing the potential next client, right?
100%.
So I think it's know your bandwidth, right? And know what you have and what the capability you have within your systems and infrastructure, but also like over deliver because again, if you price yourself accordingly and you have the margin you want on the deal, if you scale that client to $1 million a month, you don't think you're going to make a lot of money. Like your time also is like, yes, grow the agency. Yes, always have pipeline and things in the works, but at the same time, go deeper with your clients and scale your existing clients. Yeah. Number one, you'll get badass testimonials and results. Number two, you'll make more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, we're out of time and I'm done talking to you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, Cole, appreciate you being on here, man.
Yeah.
If you want to shout yourself out, I know you're doing some cool ops.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And I'll be on YouTube soon also, shooting some content. Instagram's Cole Angelle, and then Twitter's just Cole Angelle. But yeah, man, a lot of exciting stuff in the works.
100%.
And,
anything you want to shout out specifically?
I would say work with your boy. No, but my company's called NexGrowth. We do done-for-you marketing and sales. I have a SaaS coming out, apparel branding company for professional athletes. So if any of those things are relevant, or if you just want to follow along the journey, then hit me up.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yep.
I appreciate you being on. Bargov, thanks for matching my shirt today. I left the house first, so I get to call that out.
He copied me, man.
Yeah, fair enough. But bro, appreciate you being on. That was awesome. And yeah, well, I hope you all got a bunch of value from this. Thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you soon.